Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you for the newcomers. Thank you for those who are visiting the channel. Thank you so much and thank you. Anyway, today I have a video. I want to talk today. It's a discussion. Sorry, there is a little bit of noise on my side there because my son is here. Okay. Anyway, so I hope it's not going to distract you at all. Okay, today I would just want to talk about something I was thinking about because it's very interesting. Because today, I think 2 days ago, I think we have the death of a French icon, Brigitte Bardot. And Brigitte Bardot was, I don't know how to explain because I was very young. When I remember her, I was very young. You know, I didn't see her a lot like acting because she is from the, I will say, okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I will say that she's a generation of actress that we saw at the time, like Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, Romy Schneider, Jane Manfield, who else? No, this generation of women, even Grace Kelly, that generation of actress at the time. And really, you know how it was at the time. It wasn't, women was kind of modest in the way they are usually presenting themselves, except for those like Marilyn, who was seen as sex symbol. Jane Manfield, I think, and Manfield. Brigitte Bardot was this kind of woman who was she was the sex symbol in France, okay, in France, and there is always a scene that really, her movie that people know the most is And God Created the Woman. I don't know the name in English. I don't know. I think I tried to translate it from France. And there is a scene where she imagined at the time was kind of shocking. A woman come naked in front of a man, and you know, I think she had her way to express. I don't know. She has her way to express her art. Okay, and Brigitte Bardot is actually she's a subject of controversies, of discussion, because of her controversial statement and view when it comes to society, politics, you know. And she was also known for, because she had a foundation that rescue animals. So, to say, in a word, Brigitte Bardot was she was a beautiful, actually she was a really beautiful woman. I don't want to lie that I was kind of surprised the way she aged, because to me, this is my personal view, she didn't age gracefully for me like the others, you know, like Romy Schneider. I know that time, yeah, she was, but she aged in a certain way. You know, there are people that are very, 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 very beautiful, very handsome, you know, men, handsome, women, very beautiful. And she had something that always struck me a lot, you know, marked me. It's her teeth, her front teeth. She has space in front of her teeth, like me, and a little bit different, but it's not something that you see often with white people. No. I don't recall many celebrities who were white who had this. And for a woman, she had this situation. She had this teeth, this space between the two, like Vanessa Paradis, Marc Lavoine. There were many. It's not really common in white people to have the space between the front teeth, and it's mostly common for Black African. I don't know about Black American, but Black African. And yeah, so when you see a white woman having it, it's, you know, it marks you. It's a very special, you know. Not only she has it, but she was very beautiful. She was extremely beautiful. And I say that she aged in a certain way. And I didn't expect her to age like that. I don't know. There are people, I think it's just about the gene. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know. There are people who age differently. Like, for example, I would say, but maybe because she left early, I don't know. Romy Schneider, she aged really beautifully. She was still beautiful, even though she was going through a lot of emotional situation. Audrey Hepburn, also, she aged really very beautifully, I would say. But I mean, it depends, okay? Beauty is in the eyes of the one who holds. Or how do you say that in French, in English? I don't know. So about that. So, Brigitte Bardot, people say that she was racist. Okay. Was she racist? This is very interesting to talk about. And people are talking about it everywhere. So in social media, oh, why do you give, how do you praise someone who was racist and so on? To be honest, I don't know. I don't want to say something I don't know. Is Brigitte Bardot racist? Like really racist? I don't know. I don't know in her personal life, okay? There are people who are very conservative in their views they see about their country. There are people who do not feel the need to be close to other race. Okay, we understand that it's important to remember when she was born and the years of her life. 1934 or 1930 something. I mean, it's a long time. Okay, and I think France was really different back in the days, and you understand that coming from this time period of years in the history of a country, it makes sense that she has certain views. Okay, it makes sense to me. I don't know. There are also people who don't feel the need to get close to other race. Okay, not that they hate them, but they just don't want, and you cannot force it. You don't force, and that's usually black people always do that. We like to do that. We like to impose that we have to be loved by others. No, some people don't want. Now, racism is a bad thing, but you cannot impose someone to see you as I don't know, to see you that they have to be around you. They don't have to. One day I saw a white lady who had to justify on the video that she doesn't, her type of men are not black. And I don't understand why people are making a huge deal on that. There are white women that don't want to marry black men. There are white men who don't want to marry black women. You don't have to force it, okay? And usually we have it. We want people to always, and we like to do that a lot. And I think I don't understand what it is. You have black people who don't want to be around white people. It is necessarily racism. I don't know. But now, did she act in the way that very disrespectful to black community? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know about everything about her life. Okay. Now, there are people who have the political views. They have the position. Doesn't mean that they hate the other race, but they want to protect their country, their culture, and it makes sense. It has nothing racist in it. Now, personally, I don't know if people recall seeing Brigitte Bardot having bad attitude around black people. I don't know. I have no idea. But as far as I've seen some of her comments, it looks like she was really conservative. Okay, she was really like into protect my culture, which is very much normal. She's French, and she was born in France. She made her country high in a way through her name, her culture, her art, her talent. She saw France the way as a patriot. Now, if little by little she saw some change that she think didn't make any sense, I don't know if you call it racism. Because if I am in my country and I see people coming from the outside who don't want to assimilate with my culture, who don't want to learn my culture and who want me to bend into that culture, it doesn't make any sense. And I understand when she complained about that. Where is France today? You have to be honest. When you look France today, for us who, since I was born, me have always been in France. Every summer I was in France, till my teenagers and so on. Okay, and the last time I went back to France, I was shocked. I didn't remember. I didn't recall France at all. You go to Paris. Paris is no longer the same thing. Paris is no longer the same thing. People can say whatever they want to say, but when I came, I was shocked. When you go to France, you don't expect to see African culture. No, seriously. Even I know that some African will be angry at me here, but seriously, if I go to France, I pay maybe how much of the flight ticket is to go to see the French culture. I'm not looking to see the African culture imposed in France. Okay? Now you will say, but what about colonization? Colonization is another thing. You cannot blame someone who maybe didn't know, because I remember when I was in Washington, D.C., I met some French who didn't know that their own country colonized many countries in the world. So when you complain about something that is about politics, put politics aside and put the people aside. I was shocked to see that some French, my age, and sometimes older than me, some of them didn't know that France has colonized. They only knew the department overseas and territories overseas, like the Guadeloupe, Martinique, they know. But when it comes to Africa, they didn't know that France has colonized in Africa. Okay, they didn't know, and this is very shocking. It comes from where? It comes from the school program, the education program. So they were shocked to hear an African speaking French fluently like them. And they asked me, how do you speak French? And me too, I was shocked. I was like, you don't know that France has colonized countries? And they didn't know. Okay, it shows a problem of education system. Again, like I say in other video, that education system is failing us. Okay, so I don't know if she knew that France was colonizing outside. I don't know. I don't know if she knew, and even if she knew, what could she do about that? I don't know. Okay, I'm not defending her. I try to see the situation in another angle, and on another angle. So I don't know, but saying that because if we go by the fact that she protect her country, like she say, my ancestors, my great-great-grandparents fought for this country to be independent. Okay? For some countries like me, where I come from, the idea of independence is different. The French, their independence was very brutal. Okay? When you see their history, you see even in the national anthem, blood, you hear. In my country, for example, we didn't fight by blood. We were given, the independence was given to us like that in Africa, the French African, given like that, except Algeria, okay? Now, I don't know, some people resist, but the resistance is not like they did, because understand that at the time they have kings also, okay? Remember they have kings, and really, the kings were seen like gods. Now, if you take the decision to kill a king, imagine what it meant at the time. These people stood up for the generations to come. They say, what we are going through, it will never happen again for the children, to our great-great-grandchildren. So these people died. They shed the blood for their independence, for their freedom. And then you come from somewhere else, and you just gonna take it like that, and you basically want to tell them that, oh, and then what? You have to flex? No, it doesn't make any sense. At some point, yes, you have to understand that people can be offended by the fact that they see that the great France that they grew up in is completely changed, and they don't want it, and it makes sense. Why make France different than other countries? It's their tradition, it's their culture, it's their history. And I understand this way. And I understand what she complained about when she said that. Okay, I wasn't a big fan of Brigitte Bardot, but I tried to understand things, being neutral and be objective in what someone said. And there is another thing that she was talking about. She was talking about people have to also bend to her culture, which makes sense. When you see, for example, at the time, okay, I say at the time you are going to France, you go to France. It was different. I always remember the time you are going to Paris. It's different today. When I went recently, the last time I went to France, I mean, you basically see in Paris people selling on the street. It never happened before. People jumping all over the metro station. The metro station of Paris is completely nasty. Why? Because this is the price of their diversity. This is the price of opening door to mass immigration. And sometimes you have immigrants who will never adapt to your culture, who will never respect your culture, who will never love your country, but who will take advantage and the benefit of your country in your country. This is why it doesn't make any sense, and I understand that. The other thing, when at the time, even the French music, no, you have to be honest, me, I don't know. The last time I remember, I was listening to some music from French singers, who like, it's been a long time, I really felt like a French music, like authentic, like the time of Laurent Pagny, Marc Lavoine, Patrick Bruel, France Gall, Michel Berger. This type of music has completely changed. I don't really see that kind of music. That is the French. I don't see that kind of music. It has completely even shifted in the way. I don't say that it's bad to bring other culture, but it's also important to understand that people have their culture. I don't see like last time I tried to listen to the French music, I admit I don't recognize this type of music. I mean, this is the style. They have a well-known singer. Her name is who? Aya Nakamura. I don't know. I really don't know. You know, it's different if you tell me, oh, the music from the Caribbean, the French Caribbean, it makes sense. This is the culture. They have never changed the culture. The Caribbean, we know it's la biguine, it's the zouk. We know this is the kind of music they have, and it has always been respected. You have a group like Cassav, we knew, okay, we knew. But the French music of the French, born French, you know, it's no longer the same really for me. This is me. It's no longer the same anymore. You have a strong influence, for example, of African rhythm now in it, and some other rhythm. But you say it's diversity. But what about someone who grew up with the French? You know, French on its own, they have their culture. Why people like French? Because of the gastronomy, because of the fashion. You have Chanel. All this is history. And that's why when you are going to France, you go for that. I remember when we were young, on summer, you will really be around people. It was the French. There was a TV program we call the Club Dorothée. Every summer, you see the energy we have. You have the neighbors coming to visit you, and it was beautiful at the time. Now, I don't know why. Even people speaking, even the speaking. The way they speak today is different. Me, I don't know. Last time I asked my mom, why people are talking like that? There is the pronunciation of some words are different today. And this is the mix of many people. People were mad at a singer, his name was Florent Pagny, who said, I don't want my children, if I pay a private school, for example, I don't want my children to be turned into a French, I don't even know it's coming from, and people were angry. Today, a native French, a born French, who is white French, can no longer say that he is proud to be French, because you have a movement of the leftists, always, the liberal, who don't want you to proudly say, I'm French. And that is what Charlie Kirk was telling them when he went to visit the conservative in France. He told them, you have to protect your culture because it's going to change with time. If you're not doing something, it's going to change. But what is Brigitte Bardot was there when you talk about that? Not at all. But when you understand what she said, it's exactly what she was complaining about. The flag, I have a video when I talk about the flag for these countries, the symbol of the flag means so much to them. It's history. That's why sometimes I'm shocked when I see some Americans who don't like their country. I mean, if you don't like the poetic, it's one thing. But if you respect your history, you cannot spit on your flag. You cannot insult your country because you remember those who fought for their freedom, who fought for their independence. And you as an American, oh, America, I don't like it. It's sad. It's really sad. And that's the same thing she was talking about. In music, for example, at the time you have singers like Linda de Souza. Linda de Souza, she's Portuguese, born Portuguese, okay? But she came to France, she went to France in her, maybe in her teenagers years, okay? Looking for a life. She adapted to the French culture, to the French style. You have people like Nana Mouskouri. Nana Mouskouri was Greek. She's Greek. She was singing. You could hear the Greek accent, but you could see the style of the music. She was like French. You have one, Mike Brandt, who was from Israel. He really adapted to the music of the French at the time. You have people like who? Josephine Baker. She was Black American, and Josephine Baker was really into France. That is what we call about assimilation. Bending to a culture that you decide to be a part of. Okay, when Josephine Baker went from America, she was looking for, but then later on she said, I have two love, my country and Paris. She sang about it, and she gave all her life to France. Okay, this is what it means. But the people who complain a lot about statements like that are usually children who are born in France, but who are children of immigrants. I saw that many times. Children of immigrants who were born in France had sometimes this situation of always racism everywhere. When a native blood French is claiming his identity, they always feel like it's a threat to their citizenship in the way when they have this opportunity to be a part of this France. Nobody rejects you to be a part of this France because you even see your soccer team. It looks, okay, it's black. I think it's the only soccer team that you see completely black in Europe. Okay? So you complain about someone who decide to say, my great-grandparents, my ancestors shed their blood, and you have to adapt. I don't understand what it is that she say wrong. Usually, the children of immigrants, okay, who were born in France, sometimes are very complex to understand. And these are the ones who also say that they are proud to be from this African country of origin, but you will never see them saying that I will move and live there completely because they enjoy the advantage of being French. But if you are that French, why don't you do like Josephine Baker, who completely left? If your country is not that much, why your parents want to live there? It's the same situation I talk about Germany. How many people remember that Germany after the war was humiliated, broken, and they went through the silent war? Germany has to fight to go up, to rise again. And you have all these people coming from nowhere and claiming, asking for the German citizenship. And then they talk about being victim of racism. Yeah, okay, they are racism. But when you decide to go into a country, if you have not connected to that country, you don't even respect the history of that country. They give you all this history, all this blood, they give it to you on the passport, on the citizenship that you have. At least be respectful for that. If you were angry about, then go back home. This is exactly what Donald Trump told to Ilhan Omar. If you don't like America, go back to Somalia. There is nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why people are angry about that. I don't get it. I am not a big fan of Brigitte Bardot, but at least I understand. And I'm shocked. I always see some white folks talking about, oh, racism, racism. This is the same attitude people condemn about the leftists and the liberals. And I understand why Islamists are afraid of conservatives, because the conservatives are the only one who really want to protect their country from the people who really have no attachment. People run away from something that they don't want to have in their country, and they want to apply the same thing in the country where they are going to move in. If you feel like if you have been born, that's why I like the lady in in England. I don't know. I don't remember her name. She's come Nigerian immigrant. But you see her at the parliament in English. Yeah, she defend English. She defend the British. She defend our England. I mean, she's what, Scottish or England? I don't remember. But I like her. Some African are angry at her. Why? She feel English. What is the problem? You know, if citizens should define who you are, but it's a waste of time. That's the same thing we say, that race doesn't define you. The color of your skin doesn't define you. It's the who you are. Some people have found their happiness in another country. Stop. I don't know why people are making such a huge deal about what she said. If you are in my country, respect the culture. Respect the laws. Respect the rules. Some people die for that. Some people die for that. Today in France, you can't even say you are Christian anymore. Because the left say that if you say that you are Christian, then you are dangerous for Muslim. I mean, France has never been a Muslim country. It's a Catholic country, fundamentally. What is it? What is it? So, I admit, France has completely changed. Me too, I'm very shocked. I don't recognize that France. I don't recognize this France. People who have never been in France cannot understand what I'm talking about. If you have never been there in the 80s and 90s, you can't understand. Today is completely different. Even the music, everything else. There was a lady who was making fun of her son, born French, because the parents are immigrant. The mother is immigrant. The son was born in France, so he took the citizenship, and he wanted to adapt to the French culture. And she was making fun of him. Making fun of him. Always, it's usually black African who do that. She was making fun of him. She said, oh, you want to eat that? You think you are French? Huh? But he's French. Let him be. If you're French, you cannot be at the same time everywhere. It has to stop. It's hypocrisy. This is the problem sometimes of. I like immigration, but I prefer immigrants who love the country. But the children of immigrants who are born in France usually are the most complicated one. And that's why I look at them from afar, because I see that every time they bring the same trend that sometimes Black America is doing. They imitate everything, and sometimes they don't even understand why. If you are French, be proud to be French. Everybody is not racist. Some people want to protect the culture, and it makes sense. They are the same people who were born in France, children of immigrants. When they see African coming to France, and they make fun of the French, of the accent of an African speaking, you see how hypocrite it is. That's why it's difficult to really get close to people, because seriously, and that's the reason why I support the conservative, because at some point it's too much. There is too much hypocrisy in it. Okay? Thank you.